If you have hope for football in Nigeria, you've not been paying attention. The signs have been there, you've been ignoring it. I've been telling you all the things that have been wrong with Nigerian football. You see me as a pessimist. You see me as somebody that doesn't want Nigerian football to progress. It's not about Eric Chelle. Eric Chelle is a pawn. It's just a piece on the chessboard. They can flick him like this. He's out.
The Super Eagles World Cup hopes are all but over, and now our sights turn to the upcoming African Cup of Nations. And the question arises, should Eric Chelle still be left in charge? Well, welcome to Crossfire, brought to you by Life Covers. I am Jimmy Anishilewo, and I'm here with Tunde and Tosin to discuss if Eric Chelle should still be the one to take the Super Eagles to the upcoming African Cup of Nations. So Tosin, for the upcoming Afcon, do you think Eric Chelle should still be the one to take the Super Eagles there?
No, not yet. I'm still waiting for one more thing.
Oh, point what is it?
I'm still waiting for one more thing because I've said it, and this is something that I humbly say, I humbly say is that, like, when it comes to football in Nigeria, in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the borders of Cameroon, Niger Republic, and Cameroon to the east, this border that we are in, when it comes to football, after God, it is me. After God, it is not the angels. After God, it is me.
I just didn't do my work, oh God.
And so when I give you a prophecy, because I'm not going to say I'm giving you counseling, I'm giving you advice. I've passed that stage.
Yeah.
You have ascended to a whole new level. This is like I'm on a different level now.
Can you give me prophecy on odds to play where you can collect money?
See me after the class. When I said this is what is going to happen, before it used to be like, oh, it's calculated guesses, it's hints. No. I'm telling you that these are the procedures, this is the processes, and these are the outcomes. Eric Chelle still needs to go through his humiliation ritual. What he was brought in to do. Because a lot of people, when they brought him in, they were saying he's the savior, he's going to bring salvation, he's going to bring in the qualification ticket. The qualification ticket that I told you are not going to get, you think Eric Chelle is going to deliver it for you? How? How? So he needs to complete his humiliation ritual, and then his fate will be decided. But as for the qualification, yeah, I want you to have hope. I want Nigerians to have hope.
It's qualification for what?
For the World Cup, a lot of people are still counting on, FIFA can deduct this thing, Ogun can, Shongo can do this.
We're talking about going to Afcon now.
Some things still need to play out.
Okay.
When they play out, and the result is there for everybody to see, then and only then will the procedure for the Afcon now reveal itself. They bring it to me, and then but the reality is this: it doesn't break my heart. It makes me happy that it's a painful time for Nigerian football. It's only through pain, because there has been several years of plenty in Nigerian football. There have been years Nigeria will qualify for the World Cup out of just sheer extraordinary talent or superior talents to whoever they are competing against. There was a time whereby heads and shoulders, the Nigerian talent in the Nigerian national team was so superior to their counterparts on the African continent that the execution, the planning, the federation, the association, the politicians, the administrators, it doesn't really matter. The talent will raise you to that level. Now, it's time for farming. 2022 World Cup that you missed, that's the start. 2026 is just the start of barrenness in Nigerian football. Wow. It's not, I'm just telling you how it is, because if you have hope for football in Nigeria, you've not been paying attention. You've not been paying, the signs have been there, you've been ignoring it. I've been telling you all the things that have been wrong with Nigerian football. You see me as a pessimist. You see me as somebody that doesn't want Nigerian football to progress. It's fine. You that you want Nigerian football to progress, will it to progression. Will it to progression. It's not about Eric Chelle. Eric Chelle is a pawn. It's just a piece on the chessboard. They can flick him like this. He's out. He's a nobody, as far as I'm concerned. He's just there in a ceremonial capacity. He doesn't make a difference. You think he makes a difference? Eric Chelle, Finidi George, or Mokachi, Eguavu, these are all pawns. They don't really matter. So, the procedure that we are going to enter in the next couple of months will now dictate the new order of Nigerian football over the next decade. So you may actually be looking at an extent. How many years? You've not gone to the World Cup for 8 years, have you? Now we may now actually be talking about a 16-year vacancy of non-Nigerian football at the biggest level, and the ripple effects on the economy and the grassroots system. That's a different discussion. But Eric Chelle, for now, let him just continue there.
That's project topic or what?
I know. It sounds like you look out. I don't understand. So, Tunde, what about you? Do you think that Eric Chelle should be fired, or should he lead us to Afcon?
You see, unlike the problem of game over here, I'm not going to waterboard you with verbose sentences that don't make any sense. Simple question. We are no longer qualified for the World Cup. Who should take us to the Afcon? This guy went on a spree of brighter grammar. And we go see you. Congratulations to you. You can speak English. But do we understand what you said? No. And I was sitting across from you. And I know damn sure that our under-educated Instagram audience, if me and my qualifications and my mental capacity don't understand, is it the ones that are always commenting, who is the evil employer? And then I understand it's very football. This one don't even sabi anything. They say weak. Anyway, enough about our Instagram people. Eric Chelle, it's simple. Should Eric Chelle be fired? I don't think so. I think that, yes, it's a disaster I don't qualify for the World Cup. Chelle does play a part in it, but he plays the lowest part in my opinion. There are too many reasons we didn't qualify for the World Cup to now put this on Chelle. By the time Chelle took over this team, 4 games had already been played. Inside those 4 games, we had 3 points. From those 3 points were 2 of the easiest possible games for us. Lesotho at home, Zimbabwe away. We drew both of those games. Then Finidi took over South Africa at home, Benin Republic away. Drew at home to South Africa, lost away to Benin Republic. And then we brought in Eric Chelle to come and please salvage something for us. Help us. And when they even unveiled him, I remember that press conference in which they used regular banners and church tables and plastic chairs. And Ibrahim Musa, president of the NFF, said verbatim that we are going to qualify for the World Cup. And I remember thinking that this is ridiculous, because you don't bring in a coach and put him under this kind of pressure. Let me drop on our first 8 points when I drop for this group. And if you look at what Chelle has done so far, 104 games, 12 possible points, he's picked up 8. The only game you can really say that he messed up was Zimbabwe at home. That 1-1 game that we considered that late equalizer. That's probably the only one that you can say has been a bad result. South Africa away 1-1 is not a bad result. It's not a bad result. You should not expect to go to Bloemfontein and beat South Africa that are a better team than us anyway right now. So that was actually not a bad result. The 2 ways we've gotten in this group, Rwanda home and away, it was under Eric Chelle. So in my opinion, that has given enough positives to say, if you probably handled from the start, we probably would have qualified much easier. Who knows? We probably don't lose at home to Lesotho with Eric Chelle. We probably don't lose away. We probably don't draw points at Lesotho against Lesotho and Zimbabwe with Chelle. We probably pick up more points if he started this competition, this qualifying campaign with us. So let us stick with him through the Afcon, which is what I assumed he was going to be hired for anyway. The first mistake, in my opinion, was firing Finidi George. If you are going to hire Finidi George in the first place, a manager like Finidi George should be a project manager. It should not be about win now. And even if you want to do win now, you don't sack him after he dropped points in our 2 toughest games of the group. Benin and South Africa. These are literally the 2 toughest games in the group, and he picked up 1 point from those 2 games, and he was fired immediately. Never really got a chance to establish a rhythm or a flow in this qualifying campaign and then leading up to the Afcon. And now that mistake has already been made, we can't make it again with Eric Chelle, who has already shown signs of positivity, but also lots of negativity, because I'm still not in agreement with this insistence on playing the 4-4-2 diamond formation. So I would say, stick with Chelle, World Cup or no World Cup. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and I'm not a lady, I would have sang for you. But
Can wear you wig too.
It's unlikely that we'll qualify for the World Cup, except multiple miracles happen. It's unlikely. But let us actually be bigger picture for the first time in our lives as a nation. We are too narrow-minded, we are too short-sighted as a country. I'm not even talking about just football now. And everything, as Tosin said, everything that's wrong with football is everything that's wrong with Nigeria. Because I want the football federation to function well in a country that is not functioning well. What is thriving in this country? As football they suffer, athletics they collect their own.
You look like you're thriving. So.
I will thrive your face. So, like, for once, let us actually look at the bigger picture and say, okay, yes, we have missed the World Cup. What does sacking the coach a few months to the Afcon, what does it do for us? Does it help us qualify for the World Cup? Does it improve our chances ahead of the Afcon? No. And like I've always said, Super Eagles of Nigeria are a tournament team. Qualifiers are not our strength. Because qualifiers, there are too many, we are not organized enough to play qualifiers. There are too many things that, because the qualifiers never happen at a stretch, so it's across multiple windows. One player might be available now, one player might not be available now. Some players might be doing skits and some might not. There are too many things going on. But when it comes to tournaments, especially winnable tournaments for us like the Afcon Cup of Nations, there's a way we lock in. There's a reason we've qualified. We've actually, funny enough, we've actually failed to qualify for the Afcon more times than we failed to reach the Afcon semi-final. Do you know how crazy that is? We've only failed to reach the Afcon semi-final 4 times. Meaning that every time the Super Eagles play Afcon, semi-final guaranteed. So if you don't want to reach semi-final, no, we don't just qualify. That's how so it's a tournament when you are locked in, everybody's have the same mindset, focus on the same goal, and in one space, hotel together, and the manager actually has time to work with the players and can actually pass information across and the entire nation is behind the team. That's where the Super Eagles thrive. Not so we played 8 games in this group, and we had 3 coaches in qualifying. That doesn't help anybody. We have 2 wins, we have 3 coaches.
Coach, you point the win, no? So, Tosin, now that you have said that Eric Chelle should not be fired, what do you think is the way forward for the Super Eagles going to Afcon?
There's no way forward for the Super Eagles. There's no way forward for Nigerian football. It's always, you have to go backwards. You have to go. We've gone into the stage whereby you have to go backwards.
Backwards and what?
And yeah, so I will explain it. There are some people are saying disband the Super Eagles. Disband the Super Eagles. You think they really care? They are earning most of their money with their club. Disbanding the NFF is not even going to really change much. You see, it gets to a particular point, and Nigeria is almost there. I just need the Afcon to happen first. Nigeria is at a point whereby you will see the decay in Nigerian football. We are almost there. Just be patient. The qualification for the World Cup, a lot of politicians are really pained. But they are still going to. The thing is that they already have an allocation that, okay, me, my family, and 3 of my side chicks will go to the USA. But they can still reduce it to 1 side chick. It's still okay. That's not the problem. You see, what we really need is a total overhaul of the system.
What does that mean exactly?
And okay, so here's the issue. You see, until we look at football as a mechanism to change the landscape of the country in its entirety, like Because when you actually now take that approach, that is when you can start actually addressing some of the problems with Nigeria. So when, like, for instance, when I say that the problem with Nigerian football is the problem with Nigeria, it looks very, very on the surface. It's the same issue when I say, okay, we have terrible transportation road network, terrible railway system in Nigeria. These are basic amenities. Pipe-borne water, these are basic amenities. When you want to fix football, you will now see the flaws in the Nigerian system, and it will now catapult to everything. Then there will be a revolution to solve everything, the whole everything in Nigeria, the whole cancer that is bothering this country, that doesn't allow this country to get to where it's supposed to get to. But since we are just narrowing it down to football, grassroots football, I've said it time and time again, grassroots football, you cannot get to, I'm telling you, most of the best players in the world now, I'm not saying like that this country is like Brazil. I know Brazil still has probably the most exports, but I think Argentina has overtaken them. I'm not really sure. I have not checked my recent stats on that, but I think Argentina may have overtaken them. Argentina, Brazil, these are the two major exports, football exports. Then Portugal, Spain. When you look at Africa, Nigeria used to be one of the earlier countries that broke into the European mold in the early 90s. You understand? Going to play, and Nigeria is still one among, but it's not based on a fantastic grassroots structure. It is a survival mechanism. That is why people are jackpying. It's like a jackpot method for football in Nigeria. That's why people are jackpot. People are going to Libya. People are going to Cyprus, Macedonia. Like countries whereby you don't even know they are in the backwater, they are Syria, they are going, Nigerians are going there. It's to solve Nigeria's problem, you need to tackle the grassroots football in Nigeria. When you do that, you will have a plan. You can say, we are looking at the 2034 World Cup. Because you are not going to 2030. I didn't tell you that yet. Now I'm telling you. Breaking news. You can put that in a short clip, like 7 seconds, on Twitter or Instagram. Those say you are not going to the World Cup in 2030. That's another news. Is because the planning you need to execute, it's going to be a long-term gain. Short-term losses for long-term gain. When you make those plans, you put those infrastructure in place. You may suffer for a little bit, but in the coming years, if the structure holds, the maintenance structure is there, in the coming years, in 2034 or 2038, the amount of talent you will be producing, the quality of the talent you'll be producing, and the more people will be driven toward, because it's still not in the Nigerian system. People still look at sports, education, workmanship. Is like the difference in all these categories is not the same in an abroad lifestyle. Until we tackle it and we create this infrastructure in the next, I don't know, if it's possible. Until then, will Nigeria be able to say we are actually going to develop and go to the World Cup? But I do not see that happening anytime soon. I do not see a visionary leader coming and setting up those infrastructure in the right time. So for me, there is no way forward for Nigerian football. For female football, we can continue to enjoy. But for the Super Eagles, they are not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right, Tunde, what about you? What do you think is the way forward?
See, it doesn't just as he has lesson teacher energy. You know those own lesson teachers. Of that TV, Mr. Abayomi has come. Mr. Abayomi will now drop his bag on the table. So let me see what you that will matter your teacher in school and be. You don't understand anything, but you are just waiting let this man finish. I know your mom is cooking, so you give him, let him eat and be going. That's all it is. You see, if I ask you, what it doesn't say is the way forward for Nigerian football. Just in one word. Or in one sentence. One word. Let's see one sentence. Attention. Let's see in one sentence. According to Tosi, what's the way forward for Nigerian football?
I don't want to sound partial, but I don't understand.
Kingdom is talking. Mr. Abayomi is talking.
That's not going to be at the same.
Actually, I'm spaced out.
The thing for Nigerian teacher is to speak enough English so that the parents hear you speaking it. So that they think that you are working. Even so that even if the child don't understand anything. But whatever, Mr. Hey, man, don't the man, see, let me put it in layman's terms. What is next for Nigerian football is that, and I want to be realistic, because if I want to go into a dystopian state of utopia and say
So it's not.
Dystopian and utopia, and correlate two of them together. Fantastic. I've trained you well. I've trained you.
no, some teacher did. No, it's not. But yeah, like if I want to do wishful thinking, and say I'll be like this and say let's overhaul everything and let us plant new players into the soil.
Grassroots.
And grow them like corn.
Maybe corn, you know.
But let us be realistic. What's that for Nigerian football within the context of what we know that is Nigeria? It's the best thing possible now is. And first of all, I don't think World Cup qualification is that deep. It's just a case of the formats can change, whatever. You can qualify for the next World Cup depending on what group you are. We always have plenty player. What is achievable that we can change immediately? First of all, the heads have to roll for not qualifying for the World Cup. Even if it doesn't do anything, just to send a message that this is unacceptable. I don't think that the NFF president should keep his job. I don't think that the technical director should keep his job. Honestly, I didn't even know he was still the technical director until early this year when I saw him tweet something about he's at the world's technical directors conference in Egypt with other technical directors around. I say, you? Doing what?
Technical directing.
Is there representing Nigeria. What is Eguavon's job? Because when people hear the way we use words in Nigerian football can be very, very confusing. Even for us journalists, you hear technical director, you hear head coach, you hear manager. In normal football fan can be deceiving to thinking that those are supposed to be the same thing. But we've had situation where for the Super Eagles, we've had a technical director, we've had a manager, we've had a head coach, and then 3 different people. So, what is Eguavon's job? First of all, that me personally, that's the lowest hanging fruit.
Apart from attending the conference.
Well, that's a job.
That's the lowest hanging fruit. If you are the technical director, and from what I assume is his job, you can never really know anything in Nigeria. So let me just say what I assume is his job is that you are supposed to dictate the philosophy of the Super Eagles. You are supposed to actually be the one selecting the players based on you had a hand in appointing the head coach. You know the head coach's philosophy. You collude with the head coach and come up with a list that you think will. But it's like the same way it works with football clubs. There's a coach. There's a what's it called for the football clubs? There's just somebody that is signing players and whatnot. And Gianbetta, that's sporting director. That's what I was looking for. So like. They are supposed to work hand in hand. A lot of times, sporting directors can do things that might not necessarily go well with the coach, but at the end of the day, they still have to find a way to. He's doing his job while the coach is doing his job. It's 2 different jobs, but it's still the same job at the end of the day. So that's what the technical director, I assume, is supposed to be from a Super Eagles perspective as well. But me, I don't think Eguavon is doing it. At least I don't know. So it's the lowest hanging fruit. If Ariel Busson and knowing what does happen and knowing how mad Nigerians are, that is the lowest hanging fruit. I'll just sack Eguavon to make you people happy. Granted, they may now sack me too. But that would be the first thing I'll do. That's the first thing that has to change.
Oh, good.
Let us have, at the very least, let us go back to having a uniform national team across board. There was a time that, and not too long ago, there was a time that you could argue that the under-17, the Golden Eaglets, the Flying Eagles, the Olympic Eagles were probably even more popular than the Super Eagles in this country. Not more popular in terms of like recognizability on the street, but like people actually loved watching those teams. Like people would follow the under 17 team, people would follow the progress of each player and say, okay, this player I saw him at the under 15 championships. I want to see what he will do in this under 17 team. This player was the star of the under 17 team last time, or he didn't even, this player did not even get to play much in the under 17 team, but now that he's in the under 20s, he's now the star. I want to see what he's doing. There's a disconnect now. Everybody's not doing whatever. Now there's no connectivity between all teams. We are putting out vacancies on LinkedIn. I saw it. I applied. They're not coming back. For coach on 20 and even the Super Eagles before they ended appointing Eric Chelle.
That one that said he was looking at white scouts.
So like that, those are the little changes that can make, and that from Nigeria's perspective, those are the achievable ones. All this grand plan of overhauling everything is not going to happen, at least not anytime soon. So the ones that we can do is those low-hanging fruits. Sack who needs to be sacked to make a statement. Make it very popular that handing over the reins to Eric Chelle, and you are putting your trust in him ahead of the African Cup of Nations. States, the World Cup qualification is unfortunate, but it is not the first time it has happened. We will be back at the World Cup next year. It's a case of it's a case by case issue. The last World Cup that not qualified for, we topped our group. We ended up facing Ghana in the knockout round, and we lost on the away goals. This one we did not even come anywhere. Third in our group. So there are two different cases. That one is not an indication of whether Nigerian football is in a good place or in a bad place. Because all the World Cup we qualify for, maybe say we did good. Which good place we did 2010? We go. What did we play there? So at some point, it has to not also be enough to just maybe we shall just qualify first. That's what we do in this country. Let us what are we going to do? What is the plan? Like it doesn't cost money to have a plan. It might cost money to execute it, but it doesn't cost money to have a plan. We do not seem to have a plan, or at the very least, the plan of Nigerian football has never been made public to the journalists. And even if you don't want to tell the Instagram people, which I understand, because I too will not tell those people anything because they don't know anything. At the very least, the sports journalists should be able to say this is what our football is built on. This is what our football stands for.
No, I just gave you schematics. You want Gusau that has been promised that the North are going to use 8 years to. Okay, don't worry. That's all good, Sha.
I do not bring tribalism into this. I look at everybody as Nigerians.
You will tell me that you don't know that the North will use 8 years, the South will use 8 years, Abi. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, welcome to Nigerian football.
Mr. Abayami, if you
welcome to Nigerian
if you want to educate us.
Welcome to Nigerian football.
I don't know anything. What I know is that from Nigerian football, those are the things that we need to change. The things that are easy to change. Like actually have a philosophy. If you want to have a technical director, let him dictate the philosophy from the Super Eagles down to the Golden Eaglets. If you don't have a technical director that can do that, then fire him. There's no need to have a technical, because I don't want a technical director that's just going to conferences.
But he also goes to visit the player and snap pictures with them. I don't know what you're just reducing him to.
Thank you very much. So, Tunde and Tosin have agreed that Eric Chelle should still be left in charge, even though they have different opinions on what the Super Eagles should do going forward. What about you guys? What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I am Jimmy Anishilewo, and this is Crossfire, brought to you by Live Score Bets.